Oi, you know what time it is? You're tuned in listening to 𝗕𝗲𝗄𝗏 Aussie metal guy. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button so you don't miss any of his content when it drops. And remember, stay brutal, you mad dogs. Roof.
G'day, how you all going? It's 𝗕𝗲𝗄𝗏 Aussie metal guy here with crank.com, also with Cranium Radio. So today, tonight, this afternoon, wherever you are in the world, it's a great pleasure that I've got special guest 𝗁𝗏𝗆 joining us, the powerhouse vocalist of the Canadian deathcore wrecking crew that is Brand of Sacrifice, known for their brutal sound, intense live performances. Brand of Sacrifice have definitely been making waves in the scene since their first EP. They've recently signed 𝗕𝗄𝗄𝗏 as well. They're coming back to Australia again for the second time this fucking year as well. Playing Froth and Fury Fest in Adelaide, which I'm super excited about, supporting 𝗖𝗵𝗍𝗆 Murder with Great American Ghost and Loon all around Australia. So let's dive into some Brand of Sacrifice with Kyle. Cheers for joining me, my friend.
Thanks for having me.
Absolute bloody pleasure, man. Really fucking dig you guys. I've been kind of hammering you out since the first EP. But for the uninitiated, man, can you tell me about kind of how it all started and what the journey's been like for you the last few years?
Sure. Well, essentially, it just started with two guys, myself and Leo, the producer. He used to play guitar, now he's playing kind of keyboard. And so we both had careers, full-time jobs at the time. I was an insurance broker, and he was working for a tech startup at the time. And we were just miserable with our jobs. And we kind of wanted to write something just really fun and heavy and just an EP, what in between shifts and whatnot. So we did that. And, I wrote it about my favorite manga and anime called 𝗵𝗲𝗇. I think there's a really good marriage there between the style of music and the subject matter of that story. But put our first EP called 𝗕𝗔𝗔𝗃 out back in 2018, and it started gaining some traction pretty quickly that we didn't realize was going to happen, and kind of snowballed from there, and people came knocking on the door from booking agencies, managers, labels, all that kind of stuff. So, and here we are, really.
Yeah, well, it's been quite a phenomenal few years. You dropped that EP in 2018, and you guys have steadily been growing, like playing some amazing festivals all over the bloody place. It must have been good to kind of dive into this and kind of explore this side of you as well, because art is everything for me. Music is art, and art is life, and it's a pretty boring fucking world if you can't create that artistic side of you. Yeah,
definitely. Agreed.
Yeah, man. So you've also got this unique sound. You have that real fucking heavy deathcore sound, which has also have these real kick-ass symphonic elements, I feel, to it as well, that kind of really builds it up. So, like, you're not locking yourself in there. How do you develop this signature style of you guys?
I think it's just a combination of a lot of things that we just enjoyed and liked. It's just music that we'd want to hear ourselves, and just a combination of all the influences and bands that we've enjoyed over the years. So I think we kind of know that the symphonic and the choir elements are really well received. So that's kind of been part of our toolkit. But, with our album 𝗍𝗆𝗆, we added more new metal elements to it and industrial elements as well to go along with that. So it's kind of grown and evolved over time. But
yeah, I love the fucking sound of you guys, because you do, like, as you mentioned, you have those deathcore elements, but you dive into those symphonic elements, those new metal elements. You're not locking yourself kind of like, yeah, you're a deathcore band, but you're kind of experimenting and checking out other bloody sounds, which I really love to see a band do. And it really excites me when I see a band not just sitting in one genre. Yeah, 𝗕AC/DC can make 20 fucking albums using two chords, but it's always good when other bands kind of explore kind of their full potential as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's always ideas you can get from different genres and different places and bring them into this world in your own way. So
Oh, fuck yeah, dude. And just some amazing collaborations, man. Like, you've done a shit ton of really, really good collaborations with Nick Nocturnal, 𝗵𝗵𝗆, the Dark Bloom track, We Came as Romans. Thank you. That was stuck in my head for so fucking long, dude. Kick-ass track, man. Tell us about, like, those collaborations and kind of, you know, working in and how you kind of pick out someone you want to collaborate with.
The Dark Bloom track was you know, We Came as Romans and us are sort of in the same family for management, but they wanted to reimagine their title track, and most people will go acoustic or something and or do like a EDM version or something, but they had the idea to go even heavier, and you know, it just kind of made sense, and we sort of produce ourselves anyway, so it's something that we could you know, kind of quickly come up with and have fun with. So that was just really awesome to do. And then it ended up that we did their headliner tour with them and played it live with the band as well. So that was really fun.
Yeah, fuck, that would have been dope to rip that one out live, eh?
Oh, so fun. And then the Harper collaboration, that's more on the side of Leo because he does the production and producing and whatnot. So he's writing and working with Harper directly on that kind of thing. So that's what's sort of gone on with that one. And then Nick Nocturnal is a good friend of mine. We were both originally from Toronto, Canada. And funny enough, we both moved to Florida. I don't know how that happened, but we're both like very close by to each other. But we've done a bunch of different collaborations over the years. I've had him on a podcast we used to do. I've been on his. We've made songs together. We've done covers, so it's always a good time working with Nick.
Yeah, dude, some amazing collaborations. Any on the cards you'd like to do or haven't done yet, or anyone you'd really like to collaborate with?
I think there's a lot. I want to do quite a few on this next record that we're working on, but we'll see what time permits, really.
Exactly, and it must help a lot being able to do a lot of that in that production in-house as well for you guys, yeah?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, for sure. And you did mention 𝗵𝗁𝗃. It'd be remiss of me not to talk about 𝗵𝗁𝗃 when I'm chatting with Brand of Sacrifice. For the uninitiated, your lyrics and themes are heavily inspired, as you did mention, by the manga. Kind of what drew you to this particular series?
Honestly, it was very surface level at first. So I was just kind of Googling when I was like a teenager, Googling super violent and dark stories because I was just getting kind of sick of the happy-go-lucky, you know, type thing. The shonens. I was kind of over the shonens. So I enjoyed that. And when I was a teenager, you know, 14, 15 years old, seeing a certain scene that people might know about from the anime definitely rattled me for a good week. But then I wanted to read the manga, and I did, and I just realized that while it is dark, while it is bleak, and there's a lot of violence, it's quite philosophical and deep as well, which you wouldn't know on the surface level just kind of watching it. But it's really well written. It's really well drawn as well. So just kind of fell in love with it at that point, and ever since I've been a big fan.
Yeah, it seems to go hand in hand, and the Brand of Sacrifice is really quite popular. Seeing tons and tons of tattoos, and I'm a bit of a nerd myself as well. Tons of the Brand of Sacrifice ink as well, so it kind of bloody ties in well, and it's a kick-ass fucking name, dude. To kind of come and the whole story behind the Brand of Sacrifice as well. You know, it's a really good manga with Guts and Griffin and all them, man. It's really really cool manga. Definitely worth checking out. You recently signed with 𝗕𝗄𝗄𝗏. Tell us a little bit about that, how that's kind of impacted you guys, and kind of must be a bit of a blast, kind of pun intended, to sign with them as well.
It's been great so far. We'll really dive in with this next record. That'll be our debut with the label. I mean, we also released our first single, Purge, with them, but that's just a single. So we gotta do a whole record with them now, and so far the team's been great, but I think they're just waiting on us to hand in a record now. So
oh, nice. Have you started working on that yet, or? Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're pretty deep into it.
Yeah. How's that going? All right.
Really good. I just finished a new song today,
Oh,
right
yeah.
before we jumped on this call. I'm very stoked on it.
Oh fuck yeah, looking forward to that. So you guys, I did mention Froth and Fury. That's an amazing festival that's been put on down here in Adelaide. Kind of tell us a little bit about what fans can kind of expect from you guys and your set playing Froth and Fury.
Well, it will be very high energy. We'll be playing all the greatest hits, and this will probably be the last time that we'll be playing a lot of the songs that we'll be playing live for this run, because we're going to be focusing on our next record next year. So it's a good opportunity to hear all the songs that are high streamers on Spotify and whatnot. So
yeah, I know you guys played 𝗕𝗏𝗏 recently in Australia. How did that run go?
It was awesome, but I was struggling with some vocal issues, which is very rare. I've never had any major problems since I started doing this at 16, 17 years old. And was taking a medication at that point, which affected my voice negatively. Kind of had to do some rehabilitation after that, but we're 150% now. And I kind of made it a point that I would try to return within the same year if possible, just to give the fans what they deserve and the full set. So.
Oh fuck yeah, looking forward to it. So this one for a time well, how do you maintain your vocal health? That being said, because you do have those intense performances as well, and you're playing so bloody much at the moment. So how do you maintain that vocal health so those issues don't arise for you, especially when recording and touring?
I mean, I never really have had a lot of major problems. That was just a blip due to the medication I was on, which I'm not on anymore. But generally, it's just making sure you're super hydrated, you sleep well, and all the basic health stuff. It does apply. Like, sleep is so important. It's tough to get sometimes when you're on certain runs and whatever, but that's really the key. And just warming up effectively, and I even sort of cool down now as well. So
yeah, well, that's the key when you're playing so many shows. Like, you see some bands, they treat it like a profession, a job, you know what I mean? Because that's what it is. You got to come in and put your A game and play, and you might be playing again the next day, so you can't write yourself off or fucking be screaming to the next band as well, which could be hard playing some of these festivals as well. Because although, yeah, you are playing, but also must be fun to kind of get along and also check out what is happening all over the bloody world, i.e. 𝗕𝗏𝗏, and especially Froth and Fury, which has an amazing fucking festival. Has some kick-ass international bands, but some amazing Aussie bands. Must be fun for you guys to kind of check that out as well and see what's happening.
Yeah, definitely. I always try to catch a few bands if we play a fest wherever it might be in the world.
Yeah, and you are supporting 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 for this tour as well, and you've got Great American Ghost and Loon, and you guys are playing all over the bloody place as well. Kind of tell me a little bit about how that kind of happened, landing in with 𝗖𝗏𝗏 and this tour.
Well, we've done a run with them
too.
in the past.
Yeah, you keep going.
Okay. Yeah, we've done a run with them in the past, back in 22, which they did a co-headline with After the Burial. So we already had a pretty decent relationship with them in the past. So we had a good time on that one, and it would be cool to see them in their home country. I know they're quite a bit bigger in Australia comparatively. They're still a big band in North America too, but looking forward to that.
Yeah, it's got a ripping lineup too, like with you guys with Great American Ghost and Loon. It's going to be a really, really good tour. So what are some of the challenges you guys face while touring, and kind of how you overcome them, because you just have played all over the bloody place?
The biggest challenges are going to be usually just logistics, but we have a really good team behind that, and then just making sure you get sleep. That can be tough sometimes. But generally we've been pretty lucky. Things have gone pretty well for the most part. We're pretty locked in. Like, our team is really, really dialed in. So it's pretty smooth sailing for the most part.
Yeah, nice. He's a fairly active, like as you mentioned, that Interstice EP dropped 2018, God Hand and Lifeblood, Between Death and Dreams. He's pretty active creatively at touring. So how do you balance the creative process with the demands of touring and performing?
We kind of just set time to write records and whatnot when we're off. Sometimes Leo will do only select runs, and so then he's able to keep writing ideas when he's off. We have another business together called 𝗕𝗵𝘁 that we still have to keep going while we're doing band stuff as well. So we have that ability to just sort of have someone else kind of holding the fort down.
Yeah, so it is a bit of a challenge, as you mentioned. You've got to kind of have many eggs in different baskets in the state of the music scene at the moment as well, i.e. The leech that is digital streaming platforms and things like that. It does create a lot of challenges as a band as well, that, you know, yeah, we love touring, but it's a huge part of the band as well now, being able to tour and play off the backs of albums as well.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, I mean, I think a lot of the challenge too is consistently making other content
yep,
as well, to sort of fill in gaps. That would be part of it, but that's fun too at the same time.
Yeah, I find it kind of overwhelming sometimes, kind of jumping in and kind of pumping yourself up and plugging. It's kind of like you're a musician first, and now you kind of like got to be a social media influencer sometimes as a band as well. It's kind of it's a tightrope walk. It's bloody hard.
Yeah, it's you have to wear a lot of hats for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And then you look at streams and you go, man, I've got like 900,000 streams. If 10% of them went and actually bought the fucking album, I'd be making heaps more.
Well, it's a different world now. So most of the money is being made on tour. So
yeah,
you kind of have to build around that. That's really the key.
Yeah, dude, you've got some sick merch as well. That's a really good thing that I find in the metal community, that, you know, as fans, you know, you're a fan, I'm a fan, we all love this as well. But when we do go to shows, we're always buying merch. You know, I just went to see Niall a couple of days ago, dude, and it was great to see kind of these big lineups at the merch stand. It always makes me bloody smile, like, because that's something that we all do as metalheads. First thing you do, hit that merch stand, buy another fucking black shirt with the hundreds you got at home.
Yeah, it's something that you can take with you. It's a memory in a sense, and something cool, especially if the band's put a lot into designing and curating their collections and whatnot.
And then we realized that this is a huge part of the industry and the scene and the band's lifeblood as well, to keep pushing, especially when guys like you come overseas. It's not fucking cheap to bring you guys all the way over from the US and Canada and then play Australia. And likewise for Australian bands to get over there. It's not easy to be touring. So, you know, support is bloody everything, guys. Get along there and buy as much merch as you can. So what first inspired you to become a vocalist? I think we kind of touched on that. And how did you develop your vocal style?
It was actually just sort of watching other bands that were in my local scene. I was really captivated. There was just a lot of local shows that every kid that listened to the music locally would show up for. So you'd have hundreds of people at these local shows for some reason. It's not like that anymore, that's for sure. But just seeing bands that were local to my area kind of made me want to do that as well. And then I know I kind of went through a bunch of different styles of vocal over time. I've sort of developed the one I have now in the past 5 or 6 years, but I always kind of did more of a metalcore style prior to that. So the sort of brutal stuff came a little bit later in my vocal career.
Yeah, damn straight. Touching on local shows, they are the lifeblood of the scene. There was recently a big Four Corners report about the big Live Nation, kind of how they're kind of ruining the local scene. And here, and I know they're doing the same over in countries like Canada and Australia. That local scene is absolutely bloody important, and Toronto and Canada has an amazing fucking local live scene as well. It must have been great to kind of cut your teeth up in there, eh?
Yeah, I mean it's not exactly how it was when I was growing up. It's definitely gone down a little bit, but
Yeah.
it's starting to make a little bit of resurgence. People are starting to make bands again and whatnot. But I think it was more of a cultural thing back then to sort of be part of the core scene, I guess, that I was a part of. So,
Yeah,
it would be all your friends that maybe didn't even listen to that music last week, and they're there with you because they enjoy the culture and the sort of community with it. So
fuck, I love local shows, even like Froth and Fury Fest. That started like 𝗕𝗁's been putting, like, he was doing 𝗕𝗵𝗆 and then New Dead Metal Fest, and it's consistently grown to the point where now he's putting on this huge Froth and Fury Fest, and that's due to people supporting the local scene. You know what I mean? If you don't have a strong, thriving local scene, you don't get bands like Brand of Sacrifice, 𝗙𝗏𝗏𝗏's Murder. Even as I touched on AC/DC, all these bands cut their teeth in the local scene to begin with. If we didn't have a strong local scene, we wouldn't have the scene we have now. So it's really, really important for everybody to remember to fucking support those local shows and festivals like this that are put on by people that have been working their fucking ass off to kind of grow it to where it is now. You kind of see it now, and so, oh yeah, it's a huge Froth and Fury Fest, but it started as a local festival, underground festival, being grown up and bred to what it is now.
yeah, that's a great history. I love that.
Yeah. Can you share some of the challenges you've faced so far in your career and kind of how you've overcame them, mate?
The challenges, just trying to improve my abilities. That's been a challenge, but I mean, it's a fun one. Finding the right personnel for tour crew, for the band itself, that's always a challenge too. But we have an absolute all-star lineup now, but it didn't start that way. It's something that happened over time. You meet other bands and other people that are filling in for other bands and whatnot. You make friends with them, and then kind of snowballs from there. So, like our bassist Andrew used to be in this band called 𝗵𝗵𝗆. They're more of like a tech death style band, and now he's in our band. And our drummer Chasen has been in a lot of different notable bands, but it just worked out that we met these people on other runs, and now they're a part of the team. So that was always a bit of a challenge, and navigating different tours as an opener when you're in smaller vehicles and whatnot, and trying to get that sleep, trying to be comfortable, trying to not go crazy. But we've come a long way, and we're in a bigger vehicle now, so which is nice. But it didn't start off that way. It's all incremental growth.
Damn straight. And you did just play kind of Knotfest, which was a couple of states, but now you're kind of getting around to kind of see a little bit more of Australia, which is good because you're over in Melbourne on the 8th of November, 170 Russell. Then, as I mentioned multiple times, Froth and Fury on Saturday, 9th of November. Then down over to Perth, which is amazing, beautiful there. Sunday, 10th of November, Magnet House. 14th of November, the Princess Theatre in Brisbane. And rounding out 15th of November at the Metro Theatre, Sydney. Is there anything you didn't get to do last time you were here earlier in the year that you're really keen to kind of get out and see?
I guess just the generic stuff that everybody wants to do, like see koalas and kangaroos and whatnot. I didn't get to do any of that, but I got to try a lot of amazing food and whatnot. So I'm looking forward to that again as well.
Did any Aussies try and stitch you up with some Vegemite?
No, I'm actually aware of what that is.
It's actually quite nice if it's done right. I went over to America and I took some Vegemite with me, being an Aussie. And if you get the spread right, some Aussies really try and stitch up international people and just lather that shit on so thick, man. But a little bit of heaps of butter and a nice thin spread of Vegemite, you're fucking on the money, dude. So if anyone does try and stitch you up, go, nah, this is the way to do it. It's not too bad, dude.
Funny
cool.
enough, my local grocery store has it.
Oh, nice.
So you can buy. They have like an international section, so they've got a bunch of UK stuff, Australian stuff.
Hell yeah, Tim
Mexican
Tams.
stuff. So. Yeah, we got Tim Tams.
Damn straight. Can't be Australian without some Tim Tams. Look, quickly, any memories, like you guys have been played all over the place, mentioned a few times. Have you got any memories that kind of stick out so far for you that have been pretty good?
I guess I'll kind of frame it this way. So the first sort of real tour that we did that had like decent turnout was Summer Slaughter 2019. And I remember the first show was Denver, Colorado at this venue called Summit. It's one of my favorite places to play. And we had never played to a crowd. I think there's probably 700 or 800 people. We never played to a crowd that large. And going from that tour, that first day of that tour and seeing that, kind of seeing what's possible, kind of was inspiring. And then now we've played some European festivals where there's, 10 to 30,000 people, and then you can kind of see the fruits of your labor. So I think those are kind of memories that stick out, just sort of milestones almost.
Yeah, those European crowds are something to behold. I think the rest of the world should pay attention to Europe, and fucking metal should be right up here like it is in Europe. Kyle, this has been an absolute pleasure to get to chat to you about Brand of Sacrifice and the upcoming tour and everything else. Do you have any last words, shout outs, thank yous, or anything else you'd like to add in there, my friend?
Just that I'm excited to come back again in the same year. It's not usually something that happens often. And just really excited to kind of slay these shows and give everybody what they deserve as far as a live show goes.
Damn straight. Everybody grab some Brand of Sacrifice, chuck it in the stereos, crank it up really loud. You can catch them all over bloody Australia in November. Cheers, mate. Have a ripping evening.
Yeah, you too. You take care. Nice talk.
Oi, you're tuned in to 𝗫𝗏𝗆 Metal Guy, so make sure to hit that like and subscribe button so you don't miss any of his sick content. And remember, stay brutal, you legend.